Hey, everybody, how are you doing? Welcome to everybody here in the live chat. Another round of Ripcast. Hey, now. So, we got a real special show for you tonight. Tonight on the show, Mr. Will Byrd from Cold Beer Confessional. Old buddy of mine. There's going to be a little bit of a reunion. All right. So everybody make sure you hit that like button no matter what platform you are watching it from the Pineapple to the Big Apple, from Maine to Spain. Let me know where you are viewing from. This is going to be a good one tonight. Hangs on. Roll that intro. Yeah. Oh, that intro gets me super hyped up. How's everybody doing? Welcome to another episode of Ripcast. If you are not subscribed and hitting those notifications, do that right now. Hit that like button, hit the thumbs up, and we are going to get right into this amazing program. All right, let me introduce first my intrepid co-host from out in the fields, Corndiff.
Tony, good evening.
Good evening. How you doing, sir?
Thursday night. I'm glad to be here. Have you heard who we have on tonight?
Hey, listen, this is Cold Beer Confessional, okay? Here's what I suggest, that you don't make any sudden moves. You don't make any loud noises around him, okay? And I don't want you to look him directly in the eye. Now, his shades say meat hammer. He's going to explain what that means when he comes on here. Right?
Okay.
All right. So we got this. Okay. Now, a little bit of history. The gentleman I'm about to bring on was Mr. Will Byrd. He and I used to do a program where we used to, it was called Grift Busters, and we used to go and find all these different folks, and each one on the panel would bring up their, their grifter of that week or whatever. So we're going to get into a couple of those moments and reminisce, but without any further ado, the man of the hour who brought a couple friends with him. We appreciate that, guys. Mr. Will Byrd.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, hello.
Ladies and gentlemen. Everybody say hello to Will.
I appreciate the applause. I like that.
Thanks for
that was a
coming
good
out,
intro.
man.
I liked your intro, too. That was really good.
Oh, appreciate it. I've learned, I've gotten a couple more colors of crayons in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
working with those a little bit. Hey, it's been a long time, man. It's really good to see you.
Here's what you didn't tell anybody. You didn't tell anybody how you lashed out at someone in your chat for making fun of me with no legs.
We were going to get to that. I remember. I thought Will was in a chair at one point, and then all of a sudden there's this guy, tall guy, walking around the room. His head's hitting the freaking door jamb, right? And I'm like, what is happening? And then I was like, he suffered. I suffered for you, stupid.
Oh, it was good times.
Great moments in history. Well, I wanted to bring up a couple things here. That being one of them. What a great moment in broadcast and YouTube history. But we got a guy here we both like. His name is Mike David.
Oh,
we also know him as Red Bar. But you and I have a lot of issues that we've had in the past of people making all the threats and the reports and the this and that. The people come at you when you try and say something, right? People come at you when you try and be different.
Oh yeah.
Well, a guy by the name of Joey Diaz went at Red Bar. And
okay, Joey Diaz.
We're gonna have a little look at this right here.
When was it? When was the date that me and Joey became personal arch nemesis? When was it, Jules? When was the first time?
On our YouTube, the first video you posted about this Xanax thing was 3 years ago.
Wow.
I'll
so
send it to you if you
3
want.
years ago, we accused Joey.
Oh yeah, I remember we were going to do a thing for your legs. We were getting titanium legs. We were choosing like different kinds of materials for what kind of legs we were going to get. Like all the magic legs. That's right, magic legs.
There's still people that ask me. They'll come in and they're always like really timid. Like, do you? I have a question. Do you really have legs or no? Like all the time. It's bigger on Twitch because that's where the rumor actually started. But I still get questions about it.
The magic legs. We're gonna get him them magic legs.
Coco.
Weren't they gonna be like USB powered and have all kinds of different, stuff going on, like
that's right.
retractable weapons and water fucking get your feet would web out. I mean, I think your feet are already webbed, but they would just be more webbed.
Sure.
Diaz, the comedian, the big fat monster. We accused him of having a Xanax addiction. Let's pull this up on YouTube here. Red Bar YouTube. Joey Diaz. Xanax. Let's see what happens. Oh, this caused quite the stir. Remember this? When we did our little thing? Joey Diaz responds. Okay, that's response. Joey Diaz. Xanax. Xanax. Xanax.
Get out.
Oh, fuck. By the way, Joey, I just took up Xanax, and ain't nobody doing shit about it. Nobody's care.
Now, if people aren't familiar with who this guy is, this is Red Bar. What's your take on Red Bar, Will? What do you think about Red Bar?
He's hilarious. Like he kind of plays like the ultimate troll online. Even he has groups that like follow him around Instagram, and they do stuff like they'll call people out fake photos, like clearly real photos. They'll call them out as fake and say they called the experts. But he likes to troll and go after the comedians. Basically, like Joe Rogan's whole bunch is a big target of his, but other comedians too. But he's a real funny guy. He used to run a comedy club, I think, and he was a comedian himself. But he's funny. It's hard to find him anywhere unless you know where he's at because it's only clips on most platforms unless you go to redbarradio.net or whatever it is. But yeah, he's hard to find
everywhere.
sometimes.
Yeah. I think they banned him on YouTube and stuff like that. What do you think, Corniff? What do you think of old Red Bar here?
I don't know much about. All I know of him is I've seen the clips where I think I remember him ripping on Anthony Cumia.
Oh yeah, It's a big one.
He was going pretty hard on Cumia.
Joey Diaz is a big friend of obviously Rogan, but man, a lot of his stories got to be lies. Either that or he's just going around sexually assaulting people all the time. One of the two.
And you look at a guy like this. This is like this tough guy. He's like, let me tell you something. I come over there. I'm gonna call the Marinucci brothers, and they're gonna come down and they're gonna snap your legs into 20 pieces. Like we're gonna do we're gonna put a side of sauce on there with you, fucko. He really like tries to be this tough guy, but when you hear him breathe he can't get up out of this chair, dog. He's not moving anywhere. Fun.
Okay, wait, how many people in the chat press 1 if you haven't heard this video before?
People might think it's been all over YouTube, but let's just start playing it. And listen, this is actually very exciting because Joey Diaz is.
And by the way, I just want everybody to know that Corniff loves the corn emojis. That's a big thing that we're doing here. We've got corn emojis going, right? And you can also make sure if you are not already following Corniff's YouTube, he does a lot of stuff. Will does a lot of crafts and things too, man. Corniff does stuff with a laser printer. Will. So laser printer and putting together Lego stuff and everything.
3D printer, and the then there's been a few Lego builds, DeLorean, but yeah, just stuff like that. And then a handful of interviews, but I haven't done one in a little while. I need to get back at it.
So we're both from Tennessee. We both 3D print. We both build stuff. So I don't know.
Like we're both pretty damn awesome.
That sounds about right.
I'm beginning to think that Will is actually the corn. Will is actually corn. If he's just trolling everybody right now. There's a big trick between these two.
Is at the height of his career now, and he got a new boost recently with this new book and this tour he's doing, and this is a good time
Lego
to
legs.
show people what he said he was going to do.
This guy is hiding.
He hasn't been on for like a year, right? On YouTube.
He's hiding. I didn't know he was hiding.
He's talking about me.
Hey, listen, guys. He said some shit about me. It bothered me for like a day.
A lot of shit.
Then I realized who this guy was. I realized that he was attacking Rogan, Segura, Bert Kreischer, Theo.
This is amazing.
Dalia. I mean,
dude, sometimes
Wait,
the stuff
can I go
happens.
Get another drink?
Yeah.
All the people who have charges against them.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that when Rogan obviously became famous and stuff, he brought all his friends on for podcasts. Like he owns most of those studios. It's one big building, and well, it was before he went to Texas, and they all worked out of like one big building, and he promoted those like The King and the Sting and all those other podcasts. Is the Two Bears One Cave.
So he sort of had a network.
Sure. Yeah. It's under his like multi-channel network or whatever. And he made a percentage off of it, but he put all those guys to work. Now I'm not sure what happened once he moved to Texas, but I assume he still owns a lot of that intellectual property and stuff.
Well, a lot of these guys like Dalia and Callan and everything, nobody's touching these guys right now, you know?
Sure.
Yeah. And look, when you look at Chris D'Elia and you start to think of like Nexium and like branding and tattoos, like this is what's going on. Like what the fuck is happening down at the Comedy Store, bro? You know?
Oh yeah.
What happened to the jokes? What is this cult? What is this? You know? Madon.
Sometimes this stuff happens so fast where you don't remember how like crazy it is. All right, here he is, Joey Diaz.
Here we go.
Doing a nice, and this is cut from a longer piece, I believe. You might be able to find this on Uncle Joey's Joint. Or what was it called? Yeah, Uncle Joey's Joint. All right, let's hear him out.
when you look at this guy's videos and you see this, listen, I sit here sometimes and I say some shit about people, but I don't cross the line. Not here. If I'm going to cross the line, I'll cross the line to your fucking face. I'm not going to cross the line on here.
Oh, I think you're about to.
I'd rather cross the line. I don't want you to call me and go, hey, man, I heard you were talking.
Imagine being addressed personally by the Mafia. That's what this is like. Imagine the leader of the Mafia or one of the big guys in the Mafia is after you and composing tape publicly about you. Imagine how scary that would be and how insane. I hope I'm in the book tremendous.
Shit about me on the podcast. No. I'll see you at the comedy club and I'll tell you what I was saying. You know, when you watch his videos,
my videos,
at first I thought they were kind of amusing.
Oh.
But then they're sad. They're sad.
Do you hear the clicky mouth shit?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, not on. What is that? I mean, is his 5K a little high or something? I mean,
I can't stand people that are at this level and still can't figure out their audio. Like, I understand, like, people who's never streamed before or putting together a stream or working on it. Like, I still have audio issues sometimes. But to be at this level where you could pay a company to come in and do everything, and you probably did, why do you still have issues?
I mean, aren't you a comic? Don't you work with microphones regularly? or are you just doing old, like, amphitheaters and shit? Like,
all the crowbars you use to break people's knees are just stacked up in the microphone stands.
It's like, we just turned this one. Listen, you could get this from my website. It's $19.95. It's just the base. We call this the crowbar base. We gave this to a couple members of Helmet back in the 90s during their tour.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
He's a white kid that had everything going for him in his life. He's got rich parents. His family's got money. And he sits on a thing all day, again, with his white privilege and his little ball.
With his white privilege?
Who is this guy?
Is he that Cuban? That part was weird too, because it's like you're using the term white privilege against somebody.
Wow.
I've never heard a guy like this go, this guy with his white privilege. I don't think that's actually the term he meant. Let's see what happens.
Because he's a white kid that had everything going for him in his life. He's got rich parents. His family's got money. And he sits on a thing all day, again, with his white privilege and his little bottle of fucking whiskey.
Whoa.
And he thinks it's cool, and his wife or his girlfriend or whoever that is, and he thinks it's cool saying the things he's saying to people. One day,
that's
before
actually
we
very
locked
accurate.
the podcast up,
That's
before
like the
the
most
church-
accurate, because nobody would ever say it. He thinks it's cool to say bad things about people. And it's like, that's actually exactly what I think. Like, that's the nicest way anyone's ever put it. He thinks it's cool to make fun of people. Yes, we all do. It's actually very cool. That's why we're like probably one of the cooler podcasts out.
And this is really pushing, you know, like what Mike does is you push the limits of free speech, right? These limits of free speech, when you push someone to the point of, you know, for example, Sam Tripoli, right? The comic, he's like, I called Sammy Trips, I called Jim Florentine, I called everybody. Now, Red Bard made a comment about Sam's kids, and Sam actually hired a private investigator, went down and knocked on Red Bar's fucking door, right?
Yeah.
And started calling him out like, hey, you know, come out here. You know, that's a little bit much when you're supposed to be like, you know, like somebody who's for free speech, you know. Sam's got to relax a little bit, right?
Comedians should be pushing that line. That's where comedy comes from, is pushing that line. Like that's why they give it so many, like a broad range of like letting shit go, like stuff you couldn't say if you weren't a comedian. But it's funny because they always Red Bar treats the internet like I treat the internet. Like on the internet's the internet, and in real life is real life, and they're two different separate things. Right? We're not going to show up because you want mad at someone. Just make a video and keep it on the internet. But it's funny that they are always so bothered by him. Like you can tell he gets to them, but then everything they've got to say is like he has no viewers, he has no life, he has no show, he's not interesting, he's not funny. But clearly something's bothering them, and that's why they keep coming back.
Well, you know, and when they start to clap back at this type of thing, you know, I think that there are some of those comics who, have you ever heard of those comics that go out there and they're like, yeah, it's great when people laugh, but have you ever heard silence? You know what I mean? So like, it's like when you push it past that point of humor, right? You're pushing that edge of the envelope. So if it's making you angry, well, doesn't that mean it's good? Isn't the comedy so good if it makes you angry? Like, because it's challenging you.
Invokes a feeling.
That's right.
So I think it's cool. They think it's cool. You think it's pretty cool, right?
Let's do a little check-in with the chat here. Let's see if this is going to work. The new
said Richard Pryor as well. Eddie Murphy pushed the line.
Let's see. Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, they pushed the line, and they were funny ever. I mean, did anybody see Delirious with Eddie Murphy and those specials when he came out in the leather outfits and stuff? I mean, those were, I mean, I was in stitches. Goonie Goo Goo, motherfucker. What? It was hilarious.
You remember Chappelle being the blind Ku Klux Klan leader? We were just talking about that the other day.
God, that was great.
At the end of it, he breaks up with his wife because she was an N-word lover.
Yeah. He's like, because he couldn't be with her because she was an N-word lover. Hilarious.
Let's see.
Whoever that is, and he thinks it's cool saying the things he's saying to people.
Wow.
One day before we locked the podcast up, before the church went down, one day I was
my
going through
toes,
some
my toes are under my fucking feet from this guy's mouth clicking fucking noises, dude.
emails. Like, this is just whatever.
Listen to this.
The ones you get on Facebook that don't come to you. Yeah, the private messages. And I got a message from some dude saying, listen, don't threat this fucking guy. We're going to kill him and all this shit.
What? Joey said he was going through email. Did you hear this?
So now we're on the edge, right? We're on the edge between the guy who is pushing the limits of free speech and then Joey Diaz here who talks about free. Now, is this free speech? Is threatening somebody free speech? Well, it's protected speech. Hate speech is protected speech, right? This is what we talk about all the fucking time. This is the argument. Fair use. What can we use?
That's right.
Go.
I think they want to be able to push the limit, but no one else can. I think they want to hold it above because there is some type of like I don't like comedians who hold a bar like you had to have performed at this place, you have to have this many followers or this or that, or you can't be funny. Yeah, gatekeeping, or you're not funny, or you're not allowed to push the limit or the line or whatever. Everybody, I mean, people have made fun of me and it's been hilarious before. You know what I mean? Like they can't take a joke, which is the weirdest thing to be a professional comic and can't take a joke.
Yes.
Aren't these people supposed to be funny?
It's amazing how many comedians cannot take a damn joke out there. I had no idea until I got involved in the dabble first.
Oh yeah.
But
which we will definitely explain. But real quick, there's a group of people that sort of follow Stuttering John from the Howard Stern show. I don't know if you've ever seen any of these shows, man, but they follow Stuttering John and like his misadventures, and it's hilarious, dude.
Oh yeah, I've seen some people that cover him. I think I've seen Red Bar cover him a couple times.
Yeah, Red Bar did talk about Stuttering John, but he also said Stuttering John was like trying to reach out to him, and then and he's like, no, you know.
Going through some emails, I got a message from these guys that had been tailing him. They said, "Don't worry, we got this guy. We're gonna take him out.
Get him. We got him."
Like this season on Barry. He's living in Barry. I'm not kidding. This could be Barry. This could be part of a scene from the show Barry on HBO.
You would kill on that show, honestly.
I got an email about Mike David from Chicago. They said, "Don't worry, Joey. We're on his tail. He won't be a problem no more."
Okay.
Ain't nobody gonna bother you no more, kid. You're gonna go away. You're not gonna hear from him no more.
Give him the old 1-2.
Well, they're working very slow.
This was from how many years ago now? Okay, let's see.
Don't threat this fucking guy. We're gonna kill him and all this shit. Listen, I could go back down. If you want, we'll get a computer fucking expert to find the thing on my Facebook, and you can find it, and you can read it, and you can see who the fuck sent it. I didn't know who sent it. You know those Facebook things that have no picture on them and shit? So one day I'm with Lee there, and I say the Malanucci brothers are looking for him. I don't even know who the Malanucci brothers is. It's like me saying the Staminki brothers. You know what I'm saying? This idiot ran with it. He Googled the Malanucci brothers.
First of all, let me just clear something up here. Joey is fucking Cuban. What the fuck is he talking about? The Staminki and the fucking Malanucci brother. What the fuck is it? You know, what the is he Italian all of a sudden?
I thought he's Cuban.
He's Cuban.
Yeah, but to be fair, he was a busboy from 14 to 15 at Olive Garden. So
there it is.
If there's anything that brings together family, it's endless breadsticks.
That's right. He's Italian by breadstick.
Yeah, for life.
This fucking gonna kill.
What'd you say, Will?
I said by garlic butter. That's
by
what
garlic
they
butter,
bled him in. Blood in, blood out.
That's right. Bottomless salad in, bottomless salad out, man.
Listen, guy.
You told us in your last video, he said, "I got the Gargini brothers. They're coming after you to kill." And we showed everybody that you said that. And now he's going, "This guy thinks the Martucci's are coming." It's like, I definitely know the Martucci's are coming. But I also knew that the Garginis weren't coming. Only you believed Gargini during this whole thing. Everyone else clearly knew There were no
Oh my God, those are such-
twin hitmen named the Gargini brothers.
I think that Joey made a mistake because actually in The Godfather, it's Barzini. He was one of the guys that went against it, so it was Barzini. Yeah, I think he meant Barzini, and you don't want to mess with Barzini. I know that, but Barzini's dead because that's when he settled all family business. That's right.
And yes, we did Google it, and that's how we know. Okay, let's hear some more.
Saying the Stamiki brothers, you know what I'm saying? This idiot ran with it. He Googled the Malanucci brothers and Diaz is fucking, gonna kill me. Listen, guy.
See, he's doing is backpedaling because he did say those things as real threats, and then the internet made fun of him, and now he's going, this guy believes it. No, we didn't believe it.
Why do I feel like Joe?
You believed it.
Next person you're gonna make up with and become BFFs with like red pants.
Yep.
I can see.
I
guarantee.
I guarantee. I'll place a bet with anyone here. Within 1 year's time, if I tried, I could be not only his friend but a close friend. Yep.
We'll be home on a Saturday night.
I don't know. You're gonna have to meet these guys eventually, and either talk it out or have your dad pay them off, he says.
Well, the dad payoff has already happened. So
Yeah,
we're one
I've already
step
paid off
ahead,
every
bro.
comic in this city, and they're all against you, actually. They're all secretly recording you for me. Okay? Tell them that. Joey, I have paid every comic off that's around you, and they're secretly recording him to send to me because I'm making a documentary that Netflix is interested in. Okay? Tell him that. He will believe. Even if he sees this part, you could even leave this in. He's that dumb.
People really need to know is how big of a pussy you were that you didn't even come downstairs to meet Tripoli. Listen to me. You're going to have to meet these guys eventually and talk it out. Pay them off. Get your dad to send them a check. I know you were going to sue me and call the authorities. You did nothing. You did nothing because you got...
I know you were going to sue me. Tell him this. Dude, he's got like a class action lawsuit. Just throw around every like legal term, even though they don't make sense. He's got a class action phase 3 lawsuit against you. And like the judge went over it. He said,
well, there you go. You get the idea. You get the idea with what's happening with these guys, right? Phase 3 lawsuits. Everything is going on here. You just can't avoid it. I'm going to load this.
Tony.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the one where Red Byrd does a show and they're like they're renovating outside his building and they're like banging and doing stuff. They're like making noise that's making it hard for him to broadcast. And he goes outside and like steals their power drill or some shit and comes back on show with it.
Wasn't he on Barstool too? He was on like Barstool Sports for a while.
Yeah, he's been a bunch of plays. He was part of Who Runs the Gas Network, the comedian that runs it's a different network of comedians. He had a show on there before and was asked to leave because he was making fun of another comedian on the network.
I mean, see, like what? That's the point. I thought that was the point, like if you're going to be on a network with somebody, you got to be able to make fun of them. Let's check in with the chat real quick here. Let's roll back some of the chats here. We got a bunch coming in. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in the chat and getting on the program here. All right, let's roll down. We got.
If you get it, if you guys get a chance to watch Red Bar, watch him sometime. He is very, very funny.
Delirious was the bomb. Barb Fisher, everybody laughing. Priss, what's going on now? Checking in. Everybody saying hi to everybody. We love the crosstalk in the chat here. I actually heard a show the other day, and some guy was like, "No crosstalk in the chat." I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
That'll drive the chatters away.
Exactly. Remember, that's right. Oh, what did he say about him? Oh, yeah, he said, "Tell Bill Cosby to have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up." That's what he said. That's the one he said about him.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to beg you take the pills and you put them in the pudding. All right. You're putting in the pills, the pill pudding pops. You have to laugh at yourself. You definitely have to push the limit. All right. We got Bug in here with the Herbie action.
A comedian at that level for sure has to be able to take a joke. Like these guys are gigantic children. They can't take a joke at all.
I mean, what about the hecklers that are in the clubs? What about, Come on.
They probably just shut down and leave. They get heckled. They're just out of here.
Right. Dazzle.
Ew.
Hey. And I know we got we got a heck of a lot of corn emojis here, which we really appreciate. And Moriarty, I think, just really sums it all up with one word. Boobies.
That's right.
You know,
Boobies
and I think that's
indeed.
really how we could do that. And so the next package that we have lined up here is our good old buddy Dave Rodriguez. Now, y'all remember good old Dave Rodriguez. I remember when we did the Grip Busters and I put the skin on my face and I
yeah.
and then we had the whole show. And then that guy Tiz was in the panel, and I came in and I said, "You guys know black guys in here?" It was hilarious. Really good sports, those guys, I think, at one point. But anyway, I digress.
That's right.
Dave Rodriguez is one of these. How would you describe him? A patriot grifter, or is he a Christio patriot grifter? He's got a couple.
Well, he definitely, like, even though he's not a very, like, doesn't live a very Christian life, he definitely throws the God concept in there pretty often. Because there's some that won't speak of God at all, but he throws it in there pretty often. Like, this is God's plan, and we all know the one upstairs is in control, and read buy my mama's book, and you know, all those things.
Right. And then also, doesn't he, okay, so now this is going to be something new to my audience, and we got to get into this in the next one. That's right. Patriot. Juan 07, his buddy Juan 07.
Oh, yeah. Juanito.
I believe we did some deep dives on, and we found out that, you know, he's coming off like some big intelligence guy, and he, you know, is an insurance investigator for Costco or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he does insurance claims for like if you get like short-term disability or whatever. Yeah, if he'll find you mowing your yard, and he'll stop your paycheck from coming.
You're out there on your cane getting the lap dances.
You know, we found an old video of 107 driving down the road back in the day. He was driving down the road when he used to go by a different moniker. I don't know if he had changed it, but he used to be Mr. W, and then he went to Juan. And he was driving in his SUV and claimed he had this issue where he like jerked the wheel real quick. I guess he wasn't looking at the road, and he claimed that there was a drone strike from Obama on his vehicle while he was doing the strike.
Hit the Obama drone strike, the good old Obama drone strike. Well, what we're going to see here is another grid. This is Grifter with Grifter, which is basically what Dave Rodriguez shows are all about. If you guys go to my Zero Dark Tony channel, and you can just see that in the back end. If you want to give that a follow on the tubes, you'll see some Dave Rodriguez videos there, which are hysterical, back even to his days in the Alpha Corner. When he had Alpha Corner with the Hobby Lobby letters in the background.
Yeah, I couldn't think of the store Hobby Lobby. They went and bought them, and you found them.
They're like, these are the letters. Good job.
That's
all right. So this is Jesse Zebitar. Now, Jesse Zebitar, if y'all remember, when we look back at some of the grifters like Madison Marquette, right? This is the Madison Marquette pool, right? It's sort of like this group of people. And Jesse Zebitar, if y'all remember, was the one who came along and said, oh, she was the Illuminati trained mother of darkness for the Satanic Council or something like that. Like some crazy bullshit. Now, people still believe this, you guys. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, people still pay a lot of money to these people. Isn't Madison still up and running, bro?
Dude, Madison is not only still up and running, but she has a fake Give Send Go that's like up close to like $100,000 now, where she claims to rescue babies and women that are trafficked, and she's providing them housing. And like the FBI's got to be all over her ass. There's no way that she can make these claims still. It's wild.
I think they're letting her just run up the bill.
Sure.
You know, let her just run up the check. But right here,
Tony, I sent you something. I don't know if you've ever seen. I sent it in the private chat. You can play it later or whenever. But it's one time that I triggered Nino, and one of our guys made it into a song.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah, we're gonna run that package right after this one for sure.
Sure.
So check this out. This is the Mother of Darkness and David Nino Rodriguez, who, by the way, who is an ex-boxer, who was actually on a championship role, but unfortunately, he has an alcohol problem. And he went out into Scottsdale. He claims that he had his throat cut by people that he got in a fight with. But actually what happened is he called a couple brothers the N-word and he got $150 across his chin, not his throat. He does not know anatomy. Okay.
He was trying to bum a cigarette lighter and they didn't have one, so he called them the N-word.
Yeah, exactly. He called them filthy N-words for not having a lighter. And then they came out in the street. And then there's a newspaper article that I pulled up and we'll look at in a minute. But it's actually of him saying, he's down on the ground. And the reports say, he's holding his face and like, the black guys went that way.
You'll notice them by how black they are. They were definitely black.
I mean, you might not see them because it's that late, but Here we go.
All right, folks, welcome to Nino's Corner.tv. Actually, this is going to try to make.
I want you guys to notice that not only does David Rodriguez have his microphone like a dick in his face, he doesn't know how to place it, but it's not on. Okay. So in this one, his microphone is not even fucking on. He's a palooka.
Put this on FluffTube, and I was standing in the grocery store.
It's not on.
Getting ready to check out with my dog food and my groceries, and I saw this magazine just staring at me in the face. I was like, "Holy cow! I gotta get a hold of Jesse Saboter and figure out what this means." So I bought the magazine.
Oh yeah, the bishop. Oh, that's right. Who's
Larry
the bishop?
Gators? Larry Gators. I just thought of it.
Yeah.
Larry
Boom,
Gators.
that's
He
right.
calls.
Someone put in the chat.
He calls Jesse's a voter. He calls her witches, witches, warlocks, and hoes when he covers her.
Can you put the name in the chat, Will, of what his name is?
Yeah.
He's oh my God, the Bishop Larry Gators. Has he passed away?
I think he still does some stuff. He's like one of those prosperity
Or he
preachers,
just went
so like
away. Yeah,
custom suits and stuff. He does training, which is what he gets paid for.
Wow.
That's about it.
Boy, that's a whole trip. We're gonna have to go down that road a little bit on Ripcast for sure.
Which I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I didn't give them money. I wish I didn't do that. But I bought the magazine and I wanted to get your outlook on this. And folks, if you don't know who Jessie Saboter is, she's a former occultist, former occultist, raised in an occult family, and was being trained to be a mother of darkness, a high priestess. Is that how you would say it?
No, mother of darkness is how you'd say it.
Not a
Correction,
high
right off the
priestess?
bat.
Yeah, right.
No, they're way below on the chart.
Okay, so you were like, you were on your way.
You've got in between them, you've got the mothers of darkness, then the satanic council, then the grand high priest or priestesses, then you would have the high priest or priestess.
Oh, you see, I thought the high priest was above the thing, so that's where I was confused. I'm glad she's figuring that out. You know what? Good night. Thank you. Case closed. We're fine here.
It's kind of amazing because her last position was cashier at Staples, so it's amazing that she went so high so quickly.
Rothschild's trained. She put up she put up that like book cover or whatever that she said someone took a picture of her. Cisco Adler took this picture of her, and then it was like it was debunked immediately by all of us that saw it.
Yeah, it's just in a history book, and they even had the page number and everything.
It's a Photoshop of the back of her head in there. So what is this, a Beastie Boys song?
Just is under that.
Okay, all right. Well, sorry, my bad. Don't put a song on me some shit like that. But now you turn Christian, and you know all about this stuff. So I'm going to show you the magazine right now. And you give me because I remember you said they signal things and they point to certain things. So what I see in this is a crow pointing in the direction of, I guess this would be east. And you always said that symbolizes something, am I right? And I'm going to show the audience the magazine. Here it is. This was
and maybe get up closer, just a little closer zoom for just a minute. I'll quick catch some of that closer stuff. So if you see there's lines around the cover there, at the four corners, there's triangles. But if you notice.
You know what, Dave? Do this. Why don't you hold it right up against the ring light? Right? Why don't you hold it so it's completely obscured to any view whatsoever? He is dumb as a bag of hammers, bro.
You think that's a ring light, but he actually got a stick light and a ring light. It's actually a Q light. If he holds it just right, you can actually see the inverse.
Right. There's the inverse, and then that's the 1717
Delta.
The triangles on the left go face up. The triangles on the right face down.
Mm-hmm.
That's significant.
Sure. Can't see
the
a thing.
upwards triangle represents fire, and the downward triangle represents water. You can look that up in basic alchemy symbols. Why they've put them with the lines at the four corners there is to represent something very significant. It's what we call mirroring, where basically they create a sacred space, and a mirror in this case, particularly a black mirror, because that's the color they've chosen for the background. And so that means that the witches, they are signaling and communicating to each other. So the other significant stuff that we see is ravens or crows in the system are used by witches, psychics and gypsies to see.
She's just reading notes.
Isn't that a Cher song?
She's just reading notes off there, and she can't even read her own writing. But the technology we have now, and they have to contact each other through a magazine. What the fuck?
No texting. There's no texting in the Illuminati.
Not in the dark arts.
Okay, that's what I thought. And crows will come because that's like it's Edgar Allan Poe, and it's the crow is the inverse of Trump, right? Which is part of the army of light, adverse, reverse to darkness. Thank you.
Crow is a dove, or Trump is a dove, and then the crow is the opposite of the dove because it's the darkness. You're exactly right. And a group of crows is called a murder, and they'll bring you presents if you can train one. So
they will bring you shiny gifts from other people's treasures.
So like if they want to, spy on somebody, they may send a crow or a raven.
Oh, that's great. Still using in the chat. Me and you still using beeper codes. You remember that? Big boobs.
Oh yeah.
Big boobs. That the technology when you got the beeper, big boobs, you felt like a fucking wizard after you did that, dude. You texted big boobs and flipped it upside down. You're like, I have just cracked the seventh seal.
That's right.
Fucking Atari.
To go do the spying. And that's why we see in this picture the raven's eye is the second eye for the witch being displayed. Sometimes the ravens or crows are used to call curses on people. So when they talk about a raven's or a crow's eye, sometimes that means that they're sending out a curse to blind or to peck out somebody's eyes. They will send ravens or crows to actually cause physical damage on somebody if they choose to do that.
Because crows are known for their lethal abilities.
Oh yeah.
The other significant symbol is there on that bottom left-hand corner. You see the 2 red dashes and the cross. I sent you a bigger picture of that. What that is that if you put a line through those 3 symbols, you have what is called the 3-barred cross, or the pontifical cross, which is the cross of Salem, particularly the cross that the Salem witches use.
I just see her in front of, what I see her like looking down. She's got like a bunch of paper, like with crayons on it. She's like
a
bunch of arrows.
She could have had it collated because she still gets a discount at Staples, but she didn't have the time.
She sure gets all the free paper she needs.
So this definitely is a call up for Salem witches, which means eyes on Massachusetts the next couple months.
Because the crows.
Right. Crows are meant to send out calls. So I think this specifically has to do.
Will.
Yeah.
His microphone isn't on, Will.
I know. It sounds like he's in a bathroom for the subway.
I just can't. I mean, Did we not do? I think we did like 3 shows just on his microphone, bro. And
he's responded and been like, guys, I talked to somebody. This is the way the microphone's supposed to. He's talked to Scott McKay. Scott McKay's his tech guy. If you want to know the truth, he's like, I called Scott. I can't get signed in, and the microphone's supposed to be this way.
You know, despite what you say about it being shaped like a large black penis pointing towards my mouth.
With September 25th, which is going to be the beginning of the Feast of Trumpets. And I think that the witches are planning an attack. They're calling up all witches to get ready and get prepared to go against that Feast of Trumpets. So
is
there you have it.
And the only way to battle this is by prayer, correct? I mean, these people believe in this wholeheartedly. This is real to them. I mean, this is real.
Yeah.
Is this black magic, Jesse? What is this?
I would.
He is so confused by.
He's all he can remember is he saw Harry Potter once. So that's all he can think about right now.
Is this the part where they graduate from the academy with the broomsticks? Do you fly?
And I saw witches jump through a wall at the train station one time. I can't remember where that came from.
Hey, can you do one of them spells on here? Or is all the power going to go out?
I wouldn't necessarily put it as black magic. It's just, it depends on what they end up doing with it. But yeah, it's black or gray magic.
And so these people, this is how they signal to each other, right? Through the covers of these magazines. So, like, I guess someone like me sees it and goes, "Oh, how cute! It's approaching Halloween."
Someone like me sees it and scratches it and tries to sniff it or licks it to see what it tastes like.
Someone like me, hooked on phonics, tries to sound it out.
Right,
can't make heads or tails of it.
Right. Well, I think if you sound it out right, you get a free magazine right there in the store. Hey, guess this flavor.
Which is okay. It's funny, but that's not what you're telling me. There's a very
they're planning an all-out assault. That's a call up because they're gathering their forces together, and they're planning to make an assault
on
mankind.
On mankind.
Riveting.
Wow.
Riveting engagement. This is like. He looks. I can't tell if he's scared when he's talking. Like he's talking about like snakes or something. You know, like, are there a lot of snakes? Are the snakes under your bed?
Oh,
well,
he's something else.
That's really very interesting. I knew you'd have answers for that. So there's a lot there just in this cover. The crow.
Even he knows it doesn't sound interesting.
Right. He's like, can you say something that would justify me having all these people sit here and watch you?
That's very interesting. Thank you for coming on. And again, here is the cover.
Can somebody fire whoever's idea it was to have this magazine held up?
These symbols mean something. This means
those symbols are letters.
What the fuck?
Those symbols, sir, are letters. They do mean something when they're put together in a group.
So you said this wiggle line beside this straight line makes what sound?
That's a question mark, Dave. That is that's wiggly line. Right. Now, when you put a lot of these letters together, Dave, they form words. And then from the words, you form what's called a sentence. But not you. You're going to eat that fucking magazine by the time the show's over.
Hair, correct?
Correct.
Mirror. What about?
Yeah, and that's the other thing with the mirror I forgot to bring out.
Yeah, that's true. Look at that.
You have the reflection that's in eyes also, especially like crow eyes. But there's key wording up on the top. It says the truth behind the legends and lore. And, who are the legends and the lore in witchcraft? We're talking high level, Salem witches, but also legends is a key word for what they call titans, or I call them also the big bad boys, which means, if they're using that.
That's a very
saucy.
That's technical.
That's my
Now,
biker gang.
Well, is that above the Satanic Council? The big bad boys? Is that? It could
You're
be.
thinking of the
Personally.
bigger, badder boys.
Oh, right,
I
right,
think.
right. Well, they're in England. Those are the
Oh,
English
yes.
ones.
Someone just
Yeah.
reminded me, as far as I can tell from all the research I've done, and he actually calling the church, Jesse's a boater. One of her children passed away in a car wreck.
Yeah.
That actually happened. Like he flipped his truck on a 2-lane road. He didn't live with her. He lived in a different state with some other relatives. But she did a huge, no telling how many people donated or at what amount fundraiser when he died to pay for the expenses. And the church that he went to, who was actually involved in, like taught a Sunday school class or as a teacher's assistant in Sunday school class, paid 100% for it and notified the family immediately they were going to pay 100% for it. And she still fundraised on the back of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from what I heard about that is she purchased a
big bad boy.
A gold coffin. Entirely a coffin made entirely of gold. So I think that's what the necessary thing was. No, I'm
doing it Egyptian style.
Rest in peace. Obviously, it's always tragic when someone's family member passed away, no doubt. But she did it anyway. Let's keep going. It's her fault.
Here, it means that they're going to be trying to summon some very powerful spirits in the next month or so.
Wow. So something's coming.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Something big is coming. I mean, we can all feel it. I mean, everyone I talk to is like, we're coming into some October, November. We know what that is. I don't want to say
whatever's
it, but,
coming. He's going to want to show it that magazine cover.
Scare it away.
It's going to be like a cross in The Exorcist. Yeah. It's going to keep him away.
We knew it. We knew you was coming.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell.
So I appreciate you, Jesse. I'm going to put this on YouTube. I mean, it's good to understand the way I see it, their enemy. And I guess what is the best way to fight this? By prayer?
Look at his hands.
This was last October or September. When was this video from?
This was something like that. If you look up on Dave Rodriguez's, it's the witchcraft thing. According if you can find the date. Because this was from like last year. This is on David Nino Rodriguez, and the date on this one, because I pulled this out and I loaded it in, like I downloaded it.
I got you.
Not running this from a link.
From 9 months ago.
Absolutely. We have the ability, scripture says that no weapon formed
9 months ago, just 9 months ago. By the way, Jesse Zebatar has blocked me on Twitter. This might surprise you.
against us will prosper. We have the ability to shut the enemy down, and it does. What it takes is that we as
I know. Look at this. This is funny. Dr. J Banana. Hilarious. Nino he has large hands.
Nino always looks to me like he's having an allergic reaction. He always looks a little swollen, like a little puffy.
Right.
Like his knuckles have no definition. It's just like hot dog buns. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you get stung by a bee out there out front? Or them El Paso red ants?
Kind of like a claymation.
Right.
have to step into our authority.
And they're so much closer to the camera. Like, look at how close his hands are to the camera. Does he not understand what that does to the overall visual? Jesus.
Stating that, this land is ours. The authority, the jurisdiction over different places, that's
Her audio
ours.
is better than
So,
his.
In prayer, we have the
On a laptop.
authority to stop this in its tracks. And all we have to do is ask the Lord and petition for it. And then, people who are in those areas, be watchful in your area. If you start to see a lot of
Tony, I got
crows,
something. I do want to take this opportunity to remind people that you can go to Amazon and pick up The Mexican Mix. The Mexican Mix. It's a book by Nino's mother, so she can sell a few more copies. Leave a review. The Mexican Mix, a memoir, only on Amazon. Okay, you continue.
That was a great.
I'm obligated to say that.
He is contractually obligated. It's part of a deal that there's a non-disclosure, an NDA. Obviously, it has been signed.
a lot of witchcraft. Take your anointing oil out, start to anoint and pray, and anoint your home, anoint yourself, your children, and proclaim to the enemy that you are not giving permission for them to even have a foothold into any area that's yours, whether that's your home, your community, or your state.
Your state?
What? So let me ask you this: but when it says when the crow's pointing east, that means that something will happen on the east, or is that where they're gathering?
Well, the call is
it's questions.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, like, why does it matter where they're meeting at? They have flying broom technology. They could be anywhere in a matter of minutes.
Don't you know they can go through walls, bro? They like fly on sticks.
I'm just glad he put the cover back up for us.
It's going out to the east. It doesn't say specifically where they're going to be gathering to. Usually, if it's showing where they're...
I want to check her bag for anointing oil, all right? I want to check her bag, check her purse right now. That's right. You can't go through her sock drawer.
But she's got Kodak film canisters full of it.
Just sitting on the side. Here you go. She's selling them out there, out the back of a van. Anointing oil, Earl.
Going to gather. They'll have their hands doing certain symbols, but they're not using their hands in the symbol. They're using a crow. So it's a little bit different meaning. Usually with what you're talking about is when they put up for where rituals are going to be. I think this is more than a ritual. They're
I thought for a second she was saying where rituals like werewolves, but she was saying where are I was like, surely that's not where she's going. Like,
you don't mean something that wakes up surely the next morning with its clothes all ripped, not knowing what happened.
That could potentially be a were crow or a were bear or a were deer.
That is a were crow. That is at least a were crow. That crow turns into a pterodactyl at midnight.
And once again, did you guys see the cover? He's going to pick it up.
He's going to do it again. He's like, this cover is delicious. Thank you for coming.
So there'll be more coming out. You'll probably see more magazine covers that then you'll start to see the witches putting their hands up in certain directions, and that's going to tell you where they're going to be gathering.
What?
It's like this. Meet me over there, guys. They just pose
they're going to do this one, right? They're going to do this one, but they're pointing. But they're pointing in that direction. They're pointing this way. Go east. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, my God. David Rodriguez was right. They're Eastern witches.
This is real, folks. It's absolutely real. The occult is real. This is what they practice. You are a former occultist. You were raised in the occult, and you were being trained to be a mother of darkness. Doesn't get any more real than that, folks. Jesse.
It doesn't get any more real than becoming a mother of darkness for the Illuminati overlords.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Have a good one. God bless.
You too.
He says it like I shouldn't have said that to a witch.
God bless. I think what happens when I say this.
All right.
Wow, that was a clean ending, dude.
All right, folks.
That was clean.
He should have a little outro animation where she like goes away in a ball of fire, and then he ends the show. Oh, dude's wild, man.
That's always fun. He is the gift that keeps on giving, for sure. Let me switch this around here. So let's jump in the chat and see what's going on here. Cindy Somerville says, nut jobs. You got it. You got it. Nut jobs for sure. You know, if I pop the chat overlay like this and you guys start putting things in the chat now, it'll propagate in. There we go. There we go. So let's get into some of the chat here. Guys, drop everything in the chat that you've been dropping in there again so we can put it up here in the open screen.
Dude.
We love corns. And is that pills?
Yes, we love those too.
Oh, yeah.
Wrong show.
So tell us, Will, some of the shows and some of the stuff that you've been working on. What are some of your top? I see you, this guy Phil.
Oh, guys,
I don't know much about Phil. You have been filling me in. Haha. See what I did there? When I've been watching you, and I know you've been covering him for a while. So give us a little rundown on this gent here.
So Phil is a real estate agent, and he's the leader of this sect of like QAnon movement or whatever. A bunch of old ladies that think that he's the perfect grandson, I guess. But
that he met on Christian Mingle.
Oh yeah, he's now a multimillionaire. Somebody added it up, and he spent like $9 million on properties just this year. He's turned this into a heck of a business. But he claims he in high school he's recruited by the CIA. He quit the CIA, went to the NSA. He was going to CIA summer camp with Ezra Cohen Watnick. That's who his contact is, that he gets all his information from.
His intel.
From there, he claims he's basically, if you've ever seen the movie Edward Snowden, that's him. There is no Edward Snowden. That's a made up character and actor that they portrayed him, and that's why he's living this secret second life. But the problem is, all of his life is public. So we can go back and see, like, he worked for a few years at Subway that his mom owned. He was a real estate agent. Then he lost his real estate agent license. He has a past that is troubled with a 15-year-old girl that allegedly he fell in love with, and now he's suing the Scranton Times because they reported on it.
Am I right? Am I right in saying that people are more tolerant of someone who did 25 years for murder than crimes against children? Am I right?
You would think, but basically, so here's what happened in his case. When he was going to court, he pled guilty originally. And then he was still in contact with another person, another adult male that had been allegedly sleeping with this girl, and the girl, even though there was a no contact order. The police stated that he had burner phones and was still in contact. He disputes that, says it was all made up. But basically, she backed out. She claims that he threatened to unalive himself. She backed out, pled the fifth. So they ended up giving him a plea deal. And the plea deal basically was corruption of the morals of minors. And at the time in Pennsylvania, they changed the law later that year. But at the time in Pennsylvania, that included sexual stuff. Now, the new updated law does not include anything sexual. It's a felony. So basically, he just got a misdemeanor slap on the wrist, 3 months or so of probation or a house arrest, and then a year or so of probation. And he's tried to rewrite history with that and basically say it was all made up. He only took the plea deal because his dying grandpa's last wish was that he would get this over with. Like, he's changed the whole narrative on it. And it's actually a court battle right now. The Scranton Times called him out earlier this year, plus the Daily Beast, the Rolling Stones, all those people have written articles on him about him and this 15-year-old. And he's suing them, or he's suing at least the Scranton Times right now. But yeah, he's made a ton of money on it. He's got an MLM that sells silver. That's what I was wondering. Is he crowdfunded, and what's his, what's the thing that, lines his pockets? And so, what do you find a through line is between a lot of these grifters, because it seems like metals, certain types of metals and, from certain companies. Right. Between metals and just ridiculous ads that you wouldn't advertise anywhere else. So if you go to Telegram, there's like so many wild channels, and you find these channels and they're advertising. Like, one of the advertisements they do is something called a Trump card, and it's got Trump's picture on it. It looks kind of like a credit card, but clearly it states it's memorabilia. It's not for cash or purchase, not a credit card. But they sell those with this little ad that reads, when Trump turns on the new financial system, you'll get $100,000 a month. You'll get free gas, free healthcare, free house if you have this card. If you don't, you'll miss out. And where Telegram's kind of unregulated, it's like the Wild West. Right. Phil's money mostly comes from, he used to run a bunch of ads. Now instead he does in-video ads instead on Telegram, and they're slightly more legit. But he runs ads. He's got the precious metals. It's a company called 7K, which is an MLM. He makes about $12,000 a week maxed out on that. Wow. Because he's at the top, like executive gold, like top level. He's got Melaleuca, which is a common, even Nino does Melaleuca. That's what he's, that video I sent you, that's what he's freaking out about to me. They made into a music video. Right. He does Melaleuca. He does another thing called Philazon. I like to be funny and call it Philazon a minor, but it's like Amazon, but Phil in front of it. And he charges
is everybody going to be able to see this if it's unlisted, Will?
Yeah, if you play it on screen.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Keep going.
But he does Philazon, where he charges Patriot business owners to advertise on his platforms, a pretty substantial amount of money. And that's how he makes all his money. He's a multimillionaire. The other thing is he has told people the stock market is going to go to zero. So he has them cashing out their 401k for to put it in precious metals, right? And he makes the minimum you can cash out is $50,000. Like, that's how you have to be qualified. Ooh. And he makes, from what they told me, he makes 6% on all that. So the minimum he can make is $3,000 every time someone does it. And he's got the website he has set up. He set it up once, probably paid somebody to set it up once, and all you do is click through it. It tells you if you're qualified. If you're qualified, it gives you a number and it embeds his cookie to you. So he's not even doing any work, and he's getting at minimum $3,000 per transfer.
You know,
for rollover.
Wow.
I gotta say that everybody out there watching is so lucky that Will and I have a soul.
Yeah,
Because
dude, I would have been
Will
an
and I
awesome
didn't have
grifter.
a
I remind
soul,
people all the
baby
time.
girl, we would be peeling your pockets left and right like these mother effers. But unfortunately, we are not designed for that kind of thing.
Somebody in chat just mentioned he also sells. So apparently there's a loophole in Obamacare. You know how like most insurance has to meet a minimum with pre-existing conditions and has to cover this, has to cover that.
Right.
He found a loophole where he can sell tribal, like Native American reservation insurance.
Oh
Yes,
my
he's
God.
selling tribal insurance to people.
You know, so here's the thing about that is that on his board of directors for his corporation, he has to have one of the Native Americans from whatever, so he could just go to somebody who's like the cousin of one of the tribal guys
Sure.
who's sitting there on the side, just, chugging down some firewater.
And to throw some money his way. But yeah, it's
Did you
tribal
say
insurance, and it's
firewater?
like
Am I going to get
it's-
canceled?
it's the worst insurance ever. Like it doesn't cover anything, but it would get you out of Obamacare trouble basically if you have to pay penalties, which they've all been waived, I thought. But yeah, that's basically it.
How many LLCs, right? This insurance, here's what this insurance is going to cover a fingernail, fingernail. That's what it's going to cover.
Well, it does have if you're having a mental health crisis, it has an automated phone system you can call that says
thank God for that.
press 1 to unalive yourself, I guess.
Right.
I have no idea, but
Press 1 to detonate your receiver. All right, so we got this package here that we're going to check out from Will.
oh yeah.
Here we go. BT?
Welcome to Nino Circus. I'm here to help out. This isn't easy. What else would you be doing right now? I got some snake oil to sell you and bite people and touch you. It's not easy. It's become a job. Oh boy. All right. Take it up the ass. I don't mind it. Fuck you in the ass. Boom, boom, boom. Just hammering. We're taking it in the ass. Of course it was against their wishes. Ooh. Coming at you live.
Can I ask you something, dude?
Yeah.
I don't think his mic is ever on.
Oh.
I don't think his mic is ever on.
Didn't even notice it.
It's not plugged in. It's just dangling when it zooms out.
Dangling. He's like, man, I'm gonna lick it underneath. I think this has a glands. I'm gonna get to the glands of the microphone. He just took what?
He just hooked the headphones up to the back of it and expects it to work.
Well, they did tell him he could use it wirelessly, so
Right,
he just leaves it hanging there.
He's just like, I turn it on and nothing works, and I gotta call Scott McKay. He said, just make it look like a dick. It's fine. It's like he's not even talking to the right. It's not even on.
Goes, folks. Ooh, yeah. What are you doing? I'm bored out of my fucking mind. Oh, you made a mistake? Fuck you. What's going on? We're fucked. Wake up! I get worked up. Sir, your master. I'm a little excited. Drooling on myself. That's what makes it so hard. I don't know when it's coming, but I keep coming. So much is coming. Really soon. Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
Oh man.
All right. Now I got that out of the way. Now I know why I quit alcohol.
Shout out to BT who made that. That was awesome.
Yeah, big shout out to BT. And by the way, he still takes NyQuil every night to go to sleep.
Oh yeah, 2.5 bottles, but he's off the alcohol.
For sure. Well, look, man, I want to thank you so much for coming out here tonight. We got to have you on again soon. This was a lot of fun, bro. You know, from everybody out there, you know, we got YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, what is this? Twitter, all right? All over the place. And we really appreciate everybody coming out here and joining us with my old buddy Will. This is quite a reunion. What do you think, bud?
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. It was good to come on, hang out, and laugh a little bit about the old stuff. And yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Good to meet you, Corn Diff. Like we've never met before, and we're not the same person.
Right. Yeah, no, Will, great to meet you, man. And I love the sunglasses.
Oh, sure. I appreciate it.
You know, with the snap filters, the snap filter still up for the Meat Hammer glasses?
It's actually not. You have to kind of get a pirated version of it now. It's a lot harder. They took it down and they made like a web-based version, but you can only use it on Zoom. It sucks.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're gonna have to try and figure out how to get some black market Meat Hammer glasses.
They start mass producing them.
That's right. So I just want to thank everybody for coming out. Make sure if you are not subscribed, subscribe to this channel. This is a new channel. We're trying to obviously get to monetization. And on the other channels, we just want to get some likes and shares and get out there. I think we got a new vibe going here with me and Corn Diff and great guests like Will. Do you want to plug anything, Will?
You just check me out on coldbeer.live. I just redirects to wherever I'm streaming at. And thanks for having me on. I love the show.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. So Corn Diff, plugs.
Just corndiff.com. You can find my stuff there.
There you go. See, I need a website now. Jesus, look at this. I don't have a website.
Get davidninorodriguez.com.
That's right. You can just go right there and it'll redirect to something that's supposed to do some kind of trap door beneath me. All right. So hit the likes. Make sure you share this with a friend. Thank you so much for coming out. We're going to see you on the next one. Hit them with the smile, Corn Diff.